This is the video review for Transformers Alternity Megatron. It's the blue version, and I do like the way this car looks. It's very nice looking. Mine doesn't roll that well. Something about the way this wheel right here was pegged in, like doesn't go in far enough, so the tire rubs on the top here. But I think that's just mine. From the bottom, you can see some detail. Mostly it's just the swords, but for the most part you can't really see much that is wrong. Or, not that's wrong, you can't see much that is robot-y. Well, this little skirt here. One thing I don't like about this vehicle mode is how this wiggles. And what's a shame is that this wiggle here, well, first let me preface by saying this guy shares the same body mold, or, well, the same basic body design with Alternity Prime. Alternity Prime didn't have this issue because these doors here pegged in. Now, if Megatron were the first of the Alternity figures, that would be fine. But no, he's the second, so you'd think that Takara would have figured out, hey, yeah, this is a good thing to have, but, well, I'll just say it right now, this guy is a lot worse than Alternity Prime. Alternity Prime was pretty good, but this guy, well, part of it's just because of some things they try. But I'll get into robot mode when I get there. First, for vehicle mode, you can open the hood. You can't open the trunk. I don't think... Yeah, this car would have a trunk, but can't open it on this car. And then the doors open about that much. Each door opens and that's it. To transform, open the doors, pop this up, and fold it under. Take off the swords. Detab these. Untab. And let's see, how does this go? It's actually been a while since I've transformed this figure. His legs are... Oh yes. Pull these out and rotate these down till they click into place. Fold the feet out, fold the heel out, rotate into place. Rotate around, and then take this down and plug this little hole here into this little clear peg. It's kind of an odd fit because there's so many hinges you have to watch out for. There, got it. Do the same to the other side. Pull out the bumper, pull it out, click that into place, pull down the toe, hinge that all the way down, bring this around, and tab that in. And that will give you his very ugly feet. Continuing on to his upper body, this is where it's a lot more like Prime. Pull these together, which will pull up the head, rotate the head around, detab the arms from the body, and just kind of get them around. It's a little bit of a tight fit. It's not as easy to do as on Prime. Mostly because Megatron here has some kind of awkward shoulders. But I'll get into that when I get into that. Then you will rotate this down, and I'll lower this piece, and then rotate this up, and snap them together. This is exactly like Alternity Prime. Although... this waist piece, there we go. That waist piece can take a while to get in. Straighten the legs, lower the skirt, And now we'll work on the arms. For the arms, pull this thing out and hinge it down and get the door kind of around it. I know I'm having trouble with the figure, but a lot of it's just this figure. Even when I was well in practice with this figure, I had a lot of trouble with it, just because everything's kind of a tight fit, and it's hard to make sure everything's going where it needs to go at all times. He's not as cleanly engineered as Alternity Prime. So do something like that with the shoulders. And then on mine, the joints are a little bit loose, especially in the arms. So he's kind of a hassle to play with, to transform, to play with. He is not one of my favorite figures. And let's see, have this folded up. I can fold in a little bit more. That's folded up, that's out. The arms are transformed, legs out, the head's out. These are together, and the legs are together. Yes, this is Megatron in his robot mode. And I'm afraid he's kind of in the shadow. We'll need to readjust some lights. There we go. Despite being a brighter color than Alternity Prime, he's still kind of a dark color. And yeah, this is Megatron in his robot mode. He's got ugly legs. He's got an ugly face. He has a nice samurai aesthetic, but I just don't like him that much. He has the same problem as Optimus Prime, with Alternity Prime, where his arms can't go past his big uniboob. And then he has all this stuff over here on the shoulders. On Prime it was bad enough, but it was manageable. On Megatron, it just slips and slides all over the place, and it's hard to just get it somewhere where it doesn't get in the way of the outward articulation. It doesn't look droopy or detached. So his arms go forward, back, in and out, bend 90 degrees at the elbow, rotate above the elbow, then his wrist can move around. His head can turn. No waist articulation. The skirt can move up to allow the legs go forward, to back, bend at the knee, rotate above the knee. And then he has in and out here, and a ball jointed foot. And unfortunately, the ball joint on this figure, the ball joints, have gotten loose over the years. I did tighten them not too long ago with super glue, but I've noticed they've started to wear down pretty fast again. Now, one thing that is nice about this guy is that he does come with these very vibrant gold swords. And that's something interesting for Megatron. They fit very nicely in his hands, and they make him look very intimidating. And if you also notice, he also has these gold blades on his hands, but those are just a little bit too small for my taste. They barely go past his fist, so I'm not a fan. It's the figure that if it had been engineered just a little bit better, it could have been a really nice figure. If the car modes had fit together better, if the legs weren't such ugly messes, if the shoulder pads, while they do look cool, I do like this slatted detailing here, and I do like this. I like the way they look, but if they just got out of the way more and could hook together more solidly, this could have been a really cool figure, but as it is, he just feels like a bad version of Alternity Prime. Not for lack of trying, but because they tried to do too much of this whole samurai aesthetic, and it just kind of fails. It's a disappointment, because in pictures, barring the legs, he does look really nice. In person, barring the legs, he does look really nice. When I saw pictures, I thought, oh hey, I could probably do something different with those legs, make them not quite so bad. There's not really anything you can do. This is the best you can have them. Otherwise, you run into the legs collapsing and falling, and yeah, I'm not a fan of this figure. Those are my thoughts. Thank you for watching.